All right. Yes,
We're
we are
live.
live. Yes, we are
Okay.
live. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of DCL Primetime. We are back after a couple of weeks. 1 week got washed out because of the rain that came through. So we have some rescheduled games which are currently happening this week. And then also we had our July 4th weekend. So no games during that weekend. But we're going to cover a couple of the games which did happen. Apart, I think they didn't get impacted by the rain, so they did go through. And then we are going to also cover the games that happened the following weekend, the week of 28th before the long weekend happened. So let me start off with the game that I think stole the show that weekend, even though it was a dull weekend, as I mentioned, because of the rain. But the Fighter Stars game, I think that was the showcase game of the week.
I think
One
it was a
team,
Stars Knockers game, Partha. It's not Fighters Stars, Stars Knockers.
the I'm talking about the 21st, the June 21st game.
You're going the week before that, is it?
Yeah. I think, as I mentioned, three games did happen that weekend,
Okay.
which were not impacted. So I'm covering at least that game. The other two games were pretty uh, one-sided, but the Fighter Stars game had a lot of significance. As I mentioned, one team coming in undefeated, and then another team coming from right from the bottom of the table, kind of coming up, resurrecting their season. So it was a very unusual competition. We all know Stars. They've been great. They've been an awesome team over a period of years. Been finalist a couple of times. But Fighters, on the other hand, are the new. Uh, the one team that everybody's looking forward this season. They have performed well in the previous season, but this year definitely looks like they have the season on song. But this is kind of a hurdle on the in their path. uh, I might, they might brush it as one bad day, but it was a completely one-sided performance. I mean, I didn't expect Fighters, first of all, to get bowled out at 64 and then Stars chasing that in 6 overs. That is unbelievable. I mean, they just went after the Fighters with almost like vengeance. I don't know if there was something which they had planned to do it, but with Sai Gautam and Ravi Teja, they were like really bashing the fighters bowling, and didn't give in a, didn't give them even a sniff in the game. 64 could be tricky. Those low scoring games are a little tricky if you don't get a good start. But Stars put all those fears to bed with superlative batting performance. On the bowling front, I want to call out this guy who I played with him a couple of weeks ago. I think he's going to be a real good find and a real good prospect down the road for Stars and DCL. Sachal Chaudhary, I think he's coming of age. I think he played last season as well for Red Devils. And now that with Stars, I think he's getting a lot more exposure, and it's been a great addition. And facing him in that Stars game, he definitely has the pace and the guile. Cuts the ball beautifully, and he should be taken really good care of by the Stars team. I feel like he's going to be, if taken care, could be a really good long term prospect for Stars. But Viju, I would love to hear from you. What went wrong with Fighters?
I don't know, Partha. I mean, they normally bat all 25 overs. In this game, they couldn't bat all 25 overs. That itself was a surprise to me. When you have steady batsmen like Raghu and uh, Arjun Dev and Arjun Nadabla, they all are, and I think Mahesh Babu came a little lower down for my liking. I'm not sure
Yep.
why he came that low down. I mean, he's a batsman who can stay at the wicket and score
Yep.
according to the circumstances. So I was a little surprised because this position where he batted reminded me more of when he was playing long time ago for the Bulls, and at that time he was not a that known a category player like what he is right now. Right now he's like a superstar in the making. So
Mm-hmm.
at that time he used to come at that kind of a position, and still, that's how he built his reputation, playing game after game, multiple solid games, kind of a thing. So I don't know. Somehow I feel that the one person who has been consistent has been Suresh Ravi, and he has been consistent all through the season. And this game too, he's the only one who stood out. But again, I think the Stars bowling is really good. So if you're saying Sashal Chowdhury, are you saying he's a under 20 player?
I think so. I think he should be around that age, if not under 20. But he should be. He's young. He's really young. So
Okay. Well, if all these bowlers are hitting their stride, I mean, Imti is a top class bowler, if you ask me. When he is hitting all his spots, it's going to be, he's a difficult customer. Sashal, if he's as good as you, I haven't seen him, so I can't really comment on him. But if you're saying he's as good, Narendra Ane, we know. I mean, I do not know which Narendra Ane you get, but
yep,
if he is breathing fire and brimstone, he's a very, very difficult customer. So, uh, basically, I'm not very surprised that this was a low scoring game, but I think what surprised me is the ease with which Stars overhauled the target. I mean, I didn't see
yep.
that coming. And if you told me 66 and 6.3 overs, that is an unbelievable performance. That's like what, 11 runs an over or 10 runs an over.
Mm.
So everybody who came there, was in very attacking mode. But I think Sai Gautam set up the stage, and then Ravi Teja played a blitzkrieg of an innings, and then uh, it was all that the fat lady started singing, and the next thing you know, the game is over. So I was not too surprised that Stars won because I think I picked Stars to win this game.
Mm.
But again, considering I think the smart money would have been on fighters because fighters have been performing fabulously well this season. So it would take incredible amount of courage to go against them. But again, I think when you lose only one game out of six games, it's hard to find a fault against that team. You see, so uh, one bad game happens from time to time. So we just have to write that off and then move on. But it was a good win for Stars because they needed that win. Otherwise, playoffs was going to look very dicey. But I think the problem for Stars is, they performed so well this week, and then 1 week later they go out and lose to knockers. So that's where I think things became a little dicey. But we'll get to that game when we get to that game.
Yep. So with that, I think we'll move into, as I said, only three games happened, and this was the one game I would like to call out. Let's go into the weekend of 28th, and we'll start off with our Division 2 games. There were a couple of games that caught our attention, definitely, which I feel are worth spending time with. One was the Kadambas and the Phantoms game. I mean, that was a game worthy of actually watching it from a neutral perspective. I would love to watch this game because it was a cliffhanger. First of all, high scoring game, which is always great. The ball, the bat dominated the ball, which is very refreshing to see in DCL when you have high scoring games and a team chasing that a chase which Phantoms aced 135, and that too with 9 wickets down. It must be like a real nail biter for people who would be looking at it, and even for people who are playing. I mean, I'm sure they would have their hearts in their mouth when they were chasing this bigger target. At one stage, it looked like Phantoms were going to get there pretty easily. They had a really good partnership, like the 6 wicket partnership, which was looking good for between Arun and Zafar. Both scoring 40s. and they had the game in the hand. But then a quick run of wickets brought Kadamba's back. But I think towards the end, I think Zafar held his own, and made sure that Phantom uh, were across the line. On the Kadamba side, I think again these 134 runs, they just obviously shepherded a lot of the middle order. A good start from Pramod at the top, and it was a score which I feel Tejas would be very happy with at towards the break. But then obviously you need to also bowl. Once you have the score, all you need to really do is not go for the wickets, but more go to make sure that put as much pressure through dot balls and keep that scoring rate down so that that yields wickets. Probably that didn't happen. I think. A lot of the runs especially were leaked at the start, and then eventually, that, as I mentioned, that partnership did get through with Arun and Zafar. I was curious about one other dismissal which I thought was interesting, was the fifth or the sixth, sorry, the third wicket. They retired somebody out, and I was curious to know really what happened, because I haven't seen something like this happen in DCL. So uh, I would love to know if anybody has any insights. People who are listening or people who know about this incident maybe can educate us as to what happened. But yes, Viju, I know you love Phantoms. You're a big fan. You picked them a lot of times, so you'll be happy with this victory.
Yeah, I did pick Phantoms to win this game. But again, if you had told me that Rohit Venkatesh is not playing this game, I think I would have picked Kadambas. But
Mm.
none of us know who is going to play and who is not going to play,
Yep.
especially when we are picking on Tuesday as opposed to
Mhm.
some people who are picking on Friday. They always have an advantage because they might get some additional information. But I thought this was the best game in Division 2, without a
Mhm.
doubt. And I think for Kadambas, Pramod and Tejas absolutely put on a fantastic show with the bat and then Tejas with the ball. As a skipper, Tejas couldn't do anything better. 5 overs, 13 runs, 3 wickets. Now, it's a mystery to me still why he's playing in Division Two, because he's a Division One player who is good enough to excel in Division One. So when a Division player, one player plays in Division Two, he is expected to perform well. That goes without
Yep.
saying. Yeah, he's too good a player not to perform. So, but I think for Phantoms again, I think Arun and Zafar matched the above mentioned duo of Pramod and Tejas, ball for ball, run for run, and they bested them, Parthiv. They bested them.
Yep.
Zafar was the Sultan, Parthiv, or the Sultan, whichever way you want to call it. All right. He was the Sultan who would not be denied. He was absolutely a beast. It was a masterclass of an innings. He carried his team on his back, and there was no Rohit Venkatesh yet. This man, Zafar, was the grandmaster. So I'm going to call him Grandmaster Zafar. He put on a performance for the ages as far as the Phantoms is concerned. This is going to go into the folklore of the Phantoms, because here is just like the ghost who walks, you're going to have Zafar Muhammad, the man who can perform miracles out of thin air. Mahesh Kanyal and Tejas, if you ask me, Parthiv, they did
Mhm.
everything which they can do in their power. 10 overs they bowled, Parthiv. And if you really
Mhm.
look at it, in that 10 overs, they gave only 32 runs and picked 4 wickets. That means the remaining 15 overs, Parthiv, went for 103 runs. Now, somebody needs to tell me what these other three gentlemen or these other bowlers are doing, because that's a lot of runs to give. And guess who is the number one culprit there? Pradeep Kalmat, 5 overs, 36 runs, no wickets. I think it is time for Pradeep Kalmat to retire. All right. Maybe he should stick to just being on the other show and asking Glads to go into Division 3. I still haven't forgotten that, Parthiv, and I still will not forget it for a long, long time. And I'm going to keep reminding him that. All right. But it's time to retire if you're not going to be able to score in Division 2 and you're a bowler and you are not picking up a single wicket and you're going at the rate of 5 overs for 36 runs. I don't know. when the game is on the line, Partha, all I can say is Pradeep Kalmat. Kalmat goes to Kathmandu, and from Kathmandu, all he is saying is Glads is a Division Three team. I am not too happy with this performance, but I think look no further. 15 overs for 103 runs. That is what caused their downfall. Now, when Tejas does a re-evaluation as to what went wrong after scoring so many runs, what is that, 135 or 134 runs, and still not being able to defend it, look no further, because the 10 overs went only for 32 runs and you picked up 4 wickets. All you asked is for 6 wickets, and we couldn't get the job done. But that's what it was. But fantastic win for Phantoms. I've always said that very well managed team, very well run team, and now they are also playing very well. So obviously a contender, a team which can win close games like this one, has a long way to go. They can really get the job done in the long run too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go all the way to the finals or semi-finals or even win it all. But yeah, there are 3, 4 other good teams which are standing in their way. But congrats to Phantoms and Zafar Mahmood. I tip my cap to him. What a performance. Absolutely beast of a performance. He is the Sultan or the Sultan of. I used to call Ronnie's the Sultan. We used to
Hmm.
tease Ronnie as the Sultan, but yeah, he's the Zafar is the Sultan. Sultan Zafar got it done.
Hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a Sultan-like performance. But I'm still wanting to know a little bit more about this game because I see. I mean, if you look at the scorecard, it definitely raises a question to me. If you look at the fall of wickets under Phantoms, they have Manoj Ravi, who was retired out for the third wicket, and then I see him not out at two. He was the last wicket alongside Zafar. So I'm not sure as to whether he was retired, hurt, and then came back, or was out because it. I mean, it doesn't add up. So
Yeah, unfortunately, only we can only decipher so much from a scorecard.
yep.
When we don't see the game, it's kind of very difficult. So either you need some eyewitness to educate us, otherwise we are kind of stuck with the scorecard.
All right. Hopefully, Tejas may be hearing this or hears it later, and maybe gives us the insight into what really went in that scenario. All right, let's move on to the next game. The next game we're going to cover is the Marvels and the SLCC Guardians, and this is another one which I still have a question around, which I feel SLCC Guardians, did they play with 10 guys? Was this through the Duckworth Lewis that this game was decided? Because I feel like this scorecard is somehow incomplete. I see Marvel scoring 127, which is an absolute personal best for them. Marvels have always been like the team at the bottom of the table in Division Two, so this was quite refreshing to see them beat a seasoned side. SLCC Guardians, they have some seasoned players. They have people who have been in both Division One and Division Two. They've got some new players as well, but losing this game, I mean, I don't think anybody predicted this or was on Marvel's side. I think pretty much everybody would have been on SLCC Guardians. So this was a great win for Marvels, and I think the credit should solely go to the superlative innings from Satya Kompala, 60, propelling them to a score of 127. And then once they scored that, I think they definitely had the upper hand. But as I mentioned, SLCC Guardians is a good team. They do bat well, and they were in the game pretty much throughout, and everything. Marvels tried everything. As you can see in their scorecard, they have 8 bowlers or 9 bowlers that they have used. uh, and you would expect that from these new teams who are in Division 2. They're still trying to get their feel into DCL, so that doesn't surprise me. But the one thing that, as I said, surprises me is SLCC Guardians played 23 overs. They were 116 for 9, so they had a couple of overs and a wicket left. And the scorecard
Uh,
mentions
so I was
Marvels as the
speaking to one
win.
of the Guardian guys.
Yeah.
He said around 20th over, groundsman came. He want to turn off the light and leave. So the both
Oh,
captains are trying to push 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and they were trying to play. At 21st over, Guardians were winning due to Duckworth Lewis. But
oh,
due to that
wow.
1 over, last 2 wickets, Marvels won the game. So
Oh, wow. That is
22nd
unfortunate.
over, there were 2 wickets in the last two balls, and that's where it totally changed. The DL and Marvels won the game that over, and then they stopped due to DL. Like,
Wow. Wow.
so,
Well, I think that's something which I think the captain should take some responsibility on the SLCC Guardians. I think knowing the situation, I would have checked the DL, made sure that we are always ahead, even if anytime basically know that anytime the game can be stopped. So you want to make sure that you don't, especially don't lose wickets, because that definitely pushes the target. Upwards, and this is something that the captain should be taking some responsibility. And if he didn't know, or if he hasn't didn't think about it during the game, towards the end of the game, then that's definitely something that is a miss from him. And as a result, Guardians lose the game by 6 or 10 runs or 9 runs.
Partha, my concern with this is, the thing is that maybe if the games are not starting on time, and usually when they say, I don't know, 6 o'clock, it never
Yep.
starts at 6, it starts at 6:15, 6:20, whatever it is. Maybe
Yep.
the team should agree, or the umpire should agree, everybody should agree that instead of a 25 over game, we'll have a 20 over game or a 22 over game. And, that's it. That's the thing which you have to probably take into account, because here's the problem I have with this Duckworth and Lewis. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think this app is available on the iPhone. And so it's only available on the Android. Or is it now available on the iPhone? I don't know.
I haven't
But
haven't checked it in a while. Yep.
okay,
no, there
so
is in the scoring itself, there is a par score. So if we can follow that itself, it's very close to DL, like which par score should be there. So
Mhm.
so it's not
it's
exactly
not
accurate.
exact, but it's almost like you can say 90%. If you are in that above the score, then you'll
So the
be around.
problem is, in a close game, all that becomes very difficult for the captain to keep track
Yeah.
of everything. The
Mm.
easiest thing, I think, is for the captains to say, you know what, let's remove all this DL out of the equation. Let's just cut down the overs to 20 overs or 22 overs, and make sure that we can comfortably finish the
Yep.
game. Whoever wins the game wins the game. Simple as that. Because this
Yep.
was a costly loss for Guardians. You see,
Mhm.
again, I
They
think.
should have been in third place now.
Yeah, and so now all of a sudden they have lost a few games which they had no business losing. That tie game is going to hurt them, because that was a game which they should have won. And again, I think in that game also, that was a bump ball which was given out. So a lot of things have not gone right for the Guardians. I think, compared to the kind of talent which they have, if you ask me, Guardians are the biggest disappointment in Division 2. Their record is nowhere close to what kind of talent they have. I mean, with the kind of talent they have, their record should be more like 5-1, or 6-0, or 4-2 or something. I mean, this is pretty bad.
I
Satya
think we have to
Kampala, let's
take back
not.
Hari Kurada then. Like,
Satya Kampala put on a masterclass, but and he got good support from Fayed, and the skipper Piyush put in a good score. But again, Partha, both teams used a lot of bowlers. It's not just one
Yep.
team used a lot of bowlers. I think it was
Yep.
eight bowlers on one team and seven bowlers on the other team. But what I was surprised with Guardians is they had five batsmen in double figures, Partha. If you tell
Mm.
me almost 90% or 95% of the time, when you have five batsmen in double figures, usually that team wins the game. But this is
Mhm.
one of those occasions where the Guardians did not win the game. And they had, I do not know if you remember this guy, Venu Tikavarapu. He used to be the skipper of Lions long,
Oh
long
yes,
time back.
the
Left arm
left.
fast,
Yeah,
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 left
yeah.
arm fast bowler, left arm batsman. I
Yep.
think he used to be the skipper for Mishka team, which went to Chicago or something like that, or the vice captain or something. A good leather ball player, a good T-ball player. He was the skipper of Lions and things like that. Glad's had a number of very close games with Lions. All right. We used to come out on top, but I think there was one game which we ended up in a tight game, and this guy was a beast of a player. And he
Hmm.
played this game, and still these guys lost, you see. So, the way the
Oh.
Guardians are going, I think that tie game can come back to hurt them. This loss, which could have been very easily avoided if you had taken some proactive steps, especially if you felt that light was going to be a problem. But again, let's not take anything away from Marvels. Marvels, congrats for winning the game. And honestly, I feel there is a scope for a lot of improvement for both teams. I think
Hmm.
both teams are missing some very strategic points here and there. They're
Yep.
making a mess of things when they shouldn't be, and they can avoid some of these blunders by just thinking over what needs to happen and how it needs to happen. Because if you really look at it,
Hmm.
this week or the last week, there were two games. GLCC won a game which they had no business winning, and Glads won a game which they had no business winning. So once again, I think keeping a calm mind and being aware of the circumstances and making some gutsy calls, make important calls, can go a long way between winning and losing a game.
Hmm. Yeah, to answer your question around why isn't that happening in terms of the when the game starts. I think there are a couple of reasons I see. I mean, this game was happening right next to us, so we were kind of going almost in similar time period. Our game ended quickly because I think we got Thunderbolts out in 17 overs, so I think we got some time left towards the end of the game. But that day, first of all, the umpires, I don't think they feel empowered to kind of make that decision at the start of the game. Uh, I think they feel like the captains need to decide, but I think if the umpires need to be empowered as well to understand, like if the game has already started late, they need to make provisions either by reducing the overs, cutting down the breaks, things of that nature to speed up the game. And secondly, I think both these games happened in the late afternoon, like 5 o'clock, and it was pretty hot. Last 2 or 3 weekends, it's been unbelievably hot. So there were, I think, extended breaks, water breaks, that probably happen even in our game. We generally we have two breaks. We both teams did an additional break just for water and refreshment. So I think all of those kind of compounded into. But again, I think it's the umpires who probably need to act and take some control over some of these time delays and reduce if necessary at the start of the game. All right, let's go on to Division One games. There were quite a few exciting games. One which you touched upon, and that's what we're going to cover first, is the Hawks Gladiators game. And now you mentioned Gladiators had no business to win this game, but contrary to all the predictions, I think most of us believed Gladiators would sail through this. But Hawks, I think Vikram Reddy Golamari has been having that, what is it, 2021-22, probably one of those years. I'm not very sure, but he had an outstanding season, and he's kind of replicating that season this year as well, with both ball and bat. He's amongst the wickets, he's amongst the runs, and he's that one guy in Hawks, which is making a difference. He needs more support from the other Hawks guys, because Hawks have been giving a lot of teams troubles. I mean, they beat us. Similar scoreline, 75-76. That was the first game of the season. Bitterly cold, but they bowled well. They batted decently, and I think they have a very good unit. And I definitely feel like they are here to stay and build upon this success. So I wouldn't bet against them staying in Division One at this stage, but they still need to get those close games and win those close games, because they had a fabulous chance. In this game, they had Gladiators at the rope, really, with the scorecard. It was only a matter of a wicket or two that could have changed the scale. And I was watching the latter half of this game. I don't know what Anoop was doing. I mean, I think he probably got the highest wickets in the game. Not, you got like three runouts, three runouts towards the end, and I'm not sure what was happening, because there was panic and there was running that I hadn't seen in a while from some of these players have been so experienced, and I wouldn't expect them to. I mean, a couple of runouts or a run out here and there does make sense, but having it at back to back three runouts, that does definitely made me giggle, and I was calling out. I was like, what is Anoop doing now? Now it's all up to him, and he did carry his bat. So we should give credit to him. He did make sure that we get across the line. And similar to Vikram Reddy Golomari, I think Jeet Nirban on Gladiators is having a fabulous season. He had that outstanding spell a few weeks ago where he got 6 wicket haul, and he's been having a fabulous outing with bat and ball. And this game, I think he just came in and nonchalantly just came in and just whacked two sixes, and the game was done. I mean, I'm pretty sure at that stage before Jeet came in, there was a chance. There was actually probably 50-50. Hawks were probably on the more, I think, more winning percentage, because bowling side, you're 8 down, and in DCL 15 runs is quite a bit. But he just came in and made us feel like, yeah, hey, I'm pretty sure he must have told the dugout, like, what are you guys doing, and just knocked off those 15 runs, and Gladiators got home. But I'm sure there must be a lot of panic and a lot of discussions happening in the Gladiators camp. So I would love to hear from Satya, you and Viju.
Let the skipper go first.
Fine.
I already gave a earful. All right.
First,
As soon as the game got over, I sent a earful. All right, to everybody. All right.
I think I would like to know from Satya to start off with, like, what was Anup thinking? Like, did you tell him, like, did you tell him anything? Did you actually, after the game, did you
No,
talk to
no,
him?
no. So Anup, we know Anup. Always there is possibilities, run lot of runouts. So his always start is like put the three steps first and then say yes or no, right? But the other side, the people get panic when he's off ground. Like we don't want to lose him, and we are trying to move to the other end. Like I did not even have time to react. Like he said, "Come,
Mm.
come, come, come!" Like, and then he just suddenly stopped. I was halfway already because I don't want to
Yep.
lose him. I thought he's so confident he came. Like then I thought that guy just ran Harish. I think like he just ran, put the ball and gave to him. We both were standing in the middle for nothing, right? But the other two
Yep.
wickets, I would not say because the Sorubai's wicket is Anup hit it hard. It hit the fence, like the above the fence, the grip,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it bounced back exactly to the bowler. So
Oh,
there's no point. Like usually we think it hits and falls and other thing, but it just exactly bounced back to the bowler straight,
yeah.
and he just throw it straight. Like he just throw it from the middle of the wicket. He hit straight to the wicket. So
Mm.
we can't do much. We could have waited until it bounced back and see, but. They both started if they were in the middle of the ground. But Hardeep would have started a little late, I would say, might be a step late.
Mm.
So that was a okay call, but still, like, it's too close because when we are losing 5 wickets there, that's an unnecessary call, I would say. So, and we were doing good. We were taking over. Like, I was making most of the calls, but except that one call, like, I didn't know
Mm.
what to do. Like, so, but
Parthiv, the only person Anup has never got run out is with me. Because I have one very simple rule when I bat with Anup. Every call is my call. Simple. We are only running at my pace because, as far as I'm concerned, a run is completed only when both batsmen reach the safe area. You get my point?
Right.
It's no point if one person reaches. And now Anup might think that he's Usain Bolt times two, all right? But that doesn't help a person like me who is moving at tortoise pace, okay? So I used to have a very clear call, okay? And so Anup doesn't like batting with me because you can't run as he feels like. But, one good thing is no runouts ever happen. Now, I personally felt that Hardeep's run out, if you ask me, you got to run at Hardeep's pace. Anup will make it, but if Hardeep doesn't make it, then what's the
Mhm.
point in running that run? I honestly blame that on Anup. Satya's call, I think Satya is to be blamed, not Anup, because Satya took off. All right. Now he says that Anup already took off. No, the ball did not beat the fielder. Parthiv, there is a simple rule: the ball has to beat the fielder. Without the ball beating the fielder, don't give me anything saying that, oh, I took off because he
No,
was
no, no,
running
Viju.
halfway. No,
I
no.
did not even see the ball because umpire was blocking the view completely there. Like he
No,
was behind that to collect the
but
ball.
you should wait till the ball clears. You know that the fielder is there. Did you
Viju,
you
he
wait till
came
the
for
ball?
half ground, Anup.
But it doesn't matter. You let the ball go through. Parthiv, Hawks is
Yeah.
a Division 1 team. This is not a Division 3 team or something like that, that they are going to throw and miss and things like that. These guys are good fielders. So I don't know. I mean, I felt that the one call with Hardeep is probably Anoop's fault, but the other two, I blame only the non-strikers because they probably should not have taken off just like that. I think in Swarup's case, Swarup sacrificed his wicket. But in any case, it was obviously going to be run out one way or the other. But let's give credit to the Hawks also. They were very good at fielding. And of course, it hurts when you have three people run out like that. And every time we are behind the game, again, I felt Hawks. Parthiv, let me tell you something. We
Mhm.
had some fabulous umpiring in this game. Suhesh Ravi, I think, came from Fighters. Absolutely fabulous umpire. I have never seen him umpire before, but this is the first time. As on time, on top of everything. If anybody ever gets an opportunity to decide
Mhm.
who they want for an umpire, take Suhesh Ravi with eyes closed, is what I would say. Ashraf was the other umpire. Again, he's a good quality umpire. We have no but he showed up habitually late, Parthiv. He showed up late because he overslept. So that is the only concern I have. And actually, you know what? If what is that? GLCC had filed a complaint last year. This year we would have filed a complaint against GLCC saying that their empire was late. You get my point? But that's not the point. The point is there's no point in unnecessarily filing useless complaints. That's it. It doesn't do anybody good. But Ashraf is a good empire. He just showed up late, but I'll give high marks to Suhesh Ravi. First time I'm seeing him, I think on top of the game. But here is the thing, Partha. I think this is a wonderful team. Great team, very sportive. They play hard, but they have a guy who did not score anything in this game. All right. His name, I believe, is Rakshit Reddy. But Partha, if I had a company and I had to hire somebody and he applied for a job, I would hire this guy eyes closed. Now, you might
Mhm.
ask me, why would I do something like that? And on what basis am I making that statement? All you have to do is go and watch the Glads versus Hawks video, all right? The first
Okay.
10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you will see that he's the one doing the brooming, all right? Go and look at it. It's a brooming masterclass. Now, I have not seen anybody take that much effort, that much pain. And when I saw this from 10,000 miles away, even though I don't know the guy, I had only admiration and respect for a man who takes any job he takes up, he takes it
Mhm.
up with seriousness. He's the keeper in the game. He's the guy wearing the blue shirt. They have fantastic orange shirts for uniform. He's the only person wearing a blue shirt. But I walked
Mhm.
away very with a lot of respect for him. He didn't. He got out LBW on the second ball or something like that. That was one time where I was hoping that he will not be given LBW because I didn't want him to score a duck. I really wanted him to score some runs because he took that much effort and pain. And so many times I have done the same thing for Glads in years past. And, you always don't want to just come and do the work and then go back, after scoring a duck kind of a thing. They have a guy called Arun Kurup, left-hander, fantastic batsman. Good hand-eye coordination. He didn't score too many runs, but I walked away. When you see a batsman bat, you can say that this guy can bat or he can't bat. So
Yeah.
I think the Vikram Reddy Golamari did his usual stuff with the bat. Stable batting, but they have a guy called Shashank. I think I told him about him
Yep.
last week or the week before that. Fantastic batsman. All you have to do is Look at a shot which he hits. I believe it was Shan. He hit for a six. Absolute masterclass of a shot. You have to see that shot to actually realize how good a shot it is. I mean, he picks it up at the right spot and sends it. I mean, even though I'm 10,000 miles away, it was jaw dropping good, and I was like, man, that was a good shot. It was not like that bad a ball or anything like that, but it was the ability of the batsman to pick it up early and to dispatch it. I think it was masterclass on his part. And again, all the class was there. Both teams, if you ask me, Parthiv took a page out of the fighter's handbook. What is the fighter's handbook? They bat 25 overs. And if you look at it, they batted first and they batted all 25 overs. We couldn't really bundle them out. But when it came to them bowling, Parthiv, I felt
Hmm.
for what is that, 21 overs, they controlled
Yeah.
the game. At no point of time in those 21 overs, Glads was ever ahead. All right. We
Yep.
were consistently behind on wickets, we were consistently behind on runs, and we just couldn't get anything going. The moment we get something going, a wicket falls. Either a
Yep.
run out happens, something or the other was happening. But here's the problem, Parthiv. 5 overs,
Hmm.
Golamari can't do anything more than this. You tell me what more can he do? 5 overs, one maiden, 6 runs, 3 wickets. That's about as good as it gets. And then
Yep.
Shashank bowled 5 overs, 11 runs, and no wickets. So between them, the 10 overs, they have only given like 17 runs. Any
Yep.
day, any team will take that, you see. But it's in the remaining 15 overs that the game changes a bit. But even the remaining 15 overs were not that bad. It was only 4 balls, actually three
Yep.
balls, if you ask me, you see.
Right.
But it was a range of emotions, Partha. If you ask me, I first was thinking, all right, what do I need to get to bonus? Wherein I'm thinking of getting just 1 point. All right. I'm not thinking about a win. I am
Right.
simply thinking about how much do I have to get a bonus point. That's all I was thinking. The moment I think we reached 65 or 66 or something like that, I said, all right, the bonus has been secured. All right. Now let's see what we can. Now, here is the thing, Partha. What most people do not know is after Jeet, I have no idea what that person can produce because we have never seen him bat. We were struggling to get 11. We got somebody on Friday and, sent in the waiver and activated him and things like that. And he ended up playing. You will see that he did not bowl, he did not bat. All right. I have no idea what he might have been gone first ball, or maybe he was a great batsman. I do not know. But since I have not seen him in action and the skipper did not give him a chance, uh, we do not know what we would have got from that person at all. All right.
Hmm.
So, for all intents and purposes, probably the 10th wicket was batting right there when Jeet went in. So, that's what makes Jeet's performance even more fantastic. But, you know, the loss was the most likely outcome. 99% of that batting of the Glads was controlled by Hawks. And then the 22nd over happened. First ball, Anup takes a single. And I must say, Anup performed a masterclass. He stayed
Hmm.
there, got the job done. And the next 3 balls, Partha, 3 bad balls, and it got the
Mhm.
treatment it deserved. Jeet sent the
Yep.
first one for a big six. The next one was a two, and then a six. And Partha, at 21.4, when the fourth ball was being bowled, I know the bonus is gone. All right. So the
Yep.
question of Glad's getting the bonus was out of the equation. But the moment Jeet hit it for a six,
Yep.
we ended up getting the bonus. You get my
Yes.
point? It was touch and go. So it went from, hey, how can I get a bonus point out of this game, to winning the game, and then to winning the game with bonus. I don't know. The range of emotions was all over the place. But actually, Parthiv, this was the way I looked at it. The Rasgulla,
Mm.
Parthiv, was almost down the hawk's throat. All right. Somehow Jeet went down there and he said he loves Rasgullas, and he put his hand in and plucked the Rasgulla out of the hawk's throat. That's how I felt about this game, because we had no business winning this game. All right. I was thinking just get one bonus point. But
Yep.
again, I think Dikshit, if you ask me, the guy who got hit for those last 3 balls, the first 3 overs he bowled very well, actually. So let's
Yep.
give him credit for what he has done. But in its only 3 balls, Jeet took him to the cleaners. But you know what, Partha? We have always played this team. It is always a nail biter. And we somehow come out on top. I think it's a little bit of experience which we have, which probably tips it in our favor somewhere when the game is on the line. But it's always very close. And we had this 2 years ago. It was an evening game, and uh, it was tooth and nail kind of a thing. But for them, if again Naresh Arakat had played, probably they win this game. But then if we probably would say, okay, if is a big word, because if Arjun Ajbani had played, then we probably would have negated Naresh Arakat. So it's
Yep.
give and take kind of a thing. But I think their skipper, Nikhil Pasula, I saw him 2 years ago, fantastic batsman. I have no idea why he's coming this late. He is the skipper, and here is the problem with skippers. They keep pushing themselves down. I honestly think he needs to go one down. This is honest evaluation. If I were the skipper, I would say, you know what, go one down. We'll live with it. If your wicket falls, it wicket falls. But he's too good a batsman not to be coming that late, and it didn't make much sense. About the only thing which I can say, I think most of the things they did right. I think only the three balls they didn't do right, and then that was the game. So what can I say about that?
Yep. I
They,
mean,
yeah,
yes.
Glads had the great escape, Parthiv.
Yep. And I think those are matches which I think, every once in a while, you yeah, and I think you would agree that you'd rather have these games at the start of the season or towards the mid season, so that you learn from it, learn from some of the mistakes, and as you come to the playoffs, you know you're not in that situation where you've come unchallenged. So I think some of these games do help the team to kind of learn from the mistakes, and a challenge once in a while. Yes, you would like to be on the winning side all the time, but some of these challenging games do help the team over a period of run. So I'm pretty sure it's a lesson learned for Gladiators. And Hawks, I think, takes would take a lot of heart from this. And as I mentioned, they would have loved that 1 point, would have helped them keep that division to one dream alive. But I think if Hawks had won, it would have definitely rattled the points table. I think a lot of teams would have been unhappy. Dynamites for one would definitely be unhappy. They are just above Hawks right now.
Parthiv,
But
I've written that for the Dynamites. I have written that for the Dynamites, that the Dynamites, the only thing they will be happy is that Hawks did not get a single point from Glads. That's the
yeah,
thing which they would be most happy about. Because,
correct.
yes, I agree, if there was an upset there, there would have been a number of teams which would have been extremely unhappy about it.
Hmm. Yep. All right, let's move on to the next game. The next game was also a very, very interesting and very, very closely fought game between local boys and Stingers. Both these teams coming into Division One this season, and both these teams have been doing really well. I mean, I would say local boys have started really well. Stingers haven't been there yet. I think they have had some performances, but it hasn't been a great ride so far. But this game, I think, credit to their batting, which performed chasing that 128. My friend Jagan Veluswamy, he still got it. It was a great innings from him. He held the fort, had a great partnership with Hari towards the in the middle order, but then he made sure that they had a partnership towards the end, but he made sure he stayed there and guided Stingers through to I would say a very, very famous victory for them, because I think they were looking at Division One. This season, as I said, both these teams are last and second last, so there is going into this game there wasn't much to choose from for both these teams. But I think this win with Stingers gives them that hope that they can still make it through and survive in this in Division One. So still a long way to go, but I think this their first win definitely will help them keep that dream alive. But local boys, I think one of the things that I'm very surprised and very uh, curious about is that they haven't seen like Srinivas Alumina is completely absent. He has been playing all the games, but his performances have not been what they were last year. I think last year it was on his back and his shoulders that local boys came through Division 2 into Division 1, winning that finals against Thunderbolts. But he's been a total ghost this season. I mean, yes, they have stepped up into Division 1, so the competition is much better and much fierce. But I expected him to uh, be that force that guides local boys into some more victories this season. But so far, it hasn't happened. 6 games, Srinivas hasn't been at his best so far, and I'm curious to find out as to what's the case. He used to open or come in the top order. He's kind of slipped down towards the lower middle order. So something isn't going well for him this season. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. If local boys have to stay in Division 1, I think Srinivas has to really uh, pull his socks and get his A game back. Yes, Viju.
I think Srinivas Elumalai is suffering from the David Copperfield effect. Do you know what the David Copperfield effect is?
You refresh me now.
Okay. The David Copperfield effect is David Copperfield, is a magician, right? He
Yep.
had this big show in New York City. He made the Statue of Liberty disappear in front of the whole public. I don't know how he did it, but he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. All right. I don't
Okay.
know what stunt was happened, but it was not visible anymore. All right. That's exactly what's happening with Srinivas Elumalai. He has disappeared. The ghost. You called him the ghost. I call it the David Copperfield effect. Srinivas Elumalai has undergone the David Copperfield effect. David Copperfield has put a magical spell on Elumalai, and Elumalai has disappeared. Really is not really standing out, and he's not really getting the job done, at least for local boys. And he's just another footnote at this point, you see. And I think we both agree on this, and I think many other people are also seeing the same thing. So it's only for a certain amount of time where you don't perform, nobody will say anything. But when it prolongs, inevitability, it draws the scrutiny of people. But I think the local boys bowling in the last 4 overs was absolutely dismal, Parthiv. As great as the Stingers batting of Jagan Veluswamy in the last 4 overs was fabulous, I think the local boys will have to look at themselves and say, what in the world were we bowling in the last 4 overs? I'll tell you why. The Stingers were 97 for 7 in 20 overs, Parthiv. In 20 overs, 97 for 7. And from there, by that score, when it was 24.1, it is 134 for 8. In other words, 37 runs came in 4.1 overs. And
Yep.
that's what, 9 runs an over you went at. You see, you have that kind of leakage. There is no way you're going to win too many games, especially if you are in the death bowling and you're bowling that kind of bowling. So they might have to go back and look at it and say, what are we doing wrong? I think that's the problem here. But again, what can I say? I mean, it was it was not a good performance by local boys in this particular game.
Yep. And you're right. I mean, I'm looking at the over by over, the last 5 overs. Again, Srinivas Alumni is one of the bowlers guilty of that second to last over where he leaked like three extras, like two wides, one no ball, and gave away like 9 to 10 runs, freebies,
But
which got the Stingers even more closer.
But again, I think Uppalapatti Srinivasa Raju had a monster of a game, Parthiv, and 58 runs in 60 balls. We should give him a shout out. Nothing local about this local boy. He's a monster boy. In fact, I would call him a monster boy. Abdul Ghaffar had a fantastic game. He absolutely laid waste to Alagu. You see, he took Alagu to the cleaners. He smacked 15 runs of Alagu's 1 over. And until then, Alagu had fantastic figures, 4 overs, 15 runs, 1 wicket, and he was having a decent day. And then 15 runs went over, and by the time Alagu's 5 overs were done, it went for 30 runs, you see. But problem for Stingers is there is very little sting in their own bowling, and so they end up leaking a lot of runs. But again, for Stingers, give credit to Hariharan Muralidharan, 39 of 40 balls. If you ask me, that is the Stars' one of their biggest losses. They have gotten a lot of new players and they might be exciting talents, but I do not know. You do not replace a surefire performer like Harihar and Muralidharan again in this game, 39 out of 40. It's a big loss for Stars, but a big addition for Stingers.
Yep.
Jagan Velusamy, 37 out of 38 balls. He looked like the old Jagan Velusamy Parthav. I think you remember
Yep.
him very well because he used to play for strikers and he
Yep.
used to do this kind of heroics during his striker days. I have not
Yep.
seen this heroics in the last several years, but this year, somehow it seems to be coming back, and he's the one who took Stingers to victory. Now, Sheikh Mohammed did not play in this game, but you know what, Parthav? Even without Sheikh Mohammed playing in this game, he has been creating a lot of dhamaka in the prediction world because
Right.
our friend Satish Gaba is having sleepless nights. He doesn't know what to do or how to stop Sheikh Mohammed. He doesn't know whether to bowl a googly. He doesn't know whether to bowl him a fastball, an out cutter, an in cutter. All I know is our friend Sheikh Mohammed is giving Gaba sleepless nights. The other day, I wanted to ask Gaba, how come your eyes are looking so red in color? Then I realized our friend Gaba must not have been sleeping because ever since he can see Sheikh Mohammed in the rear view mirror, he is wondering who in the world is this and how come this guy caught up so much. But nevertheless, all that is fun. Sheikh Mohammed, fabulous job of predictions. You're
Yep.
doing very well in that department. Congrats and keep it up.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next game. The next game was another nail biter, and I don't know what GLCC. I mean, I don't know whether they should buy a lottery ticket this year as a team, or Akash should buy a lottery ticket for sure, because this is the second game he's actually won it from nowhere. I mean, the I remember the game against Legends. He was outstanding. He was the guy who actually took them chasing a really tense total towards the end, and he stood there and he made sure that GLCC won by by 1 wicket. I remember, and then they come next week or the week after, and another performance where GLCC shouldn't have won this game. I mean, Detroit Bulls were winning this game till that last over, and I'm pretty sure when uh, Kaushik handed that ball to Akash, I don't think he had any more than maybe a glimmer of hope or something, where he felt like maybe they could at least get a tie or something out of it. I'm pretty sure defending 4 runs with 4 wickets in hand, or what was it, 5 wickets in hand.
Partha, they
uh
were defending 3 runs. All right.
oh, 3 runs, yes, 3 runs for
Yeah.
tie, right. And I think they had what, 5 wickets in hand, was it?
Yeah. Five
They
wickets in hand.
5 wickets in hand. That is unbelievable situation. Like, I think Detroit Bulls would be having nightmares this entire week. I'm sure it's just a game, you get over it, but losing from there is just unbelievable. Like, I'm sure they must have spent hours on the field after the game trying to stitch together, like, how in the world did this happen. And I'm pretty sure if you look at the last over, and I would love to uh, us to look at the last over, I think there were some tactical mistakes which happened. Yes, Akash is fabulous, but he's not a Malcolm Marshall or Brett Lee that you can't get your bat on it, right? There were some dot balls that were let go, and then there was a wicket which happened, and nobody really understood. Like, they got 2 runs of the second ball, so that got them closer to just 2 runs. So all they really needed was 1 run to tie. That would have got the game at least them 2 points. But then they had a flurry of dot balls, and common sense should have prevailed at that time, where they had wickets in hand. They should have just basically gone. Somebody would have just had to take a risk and go for that 2 runs or 1 run or whatever. Just get bat on it and get a run so that at least the game is secured. But somehow, there were dot balls and just lack of planning. I mean, once you have wickets in hand, yes, I would have seen this very differently if they were like 9 down or 8 down and they were struggling. They were struggling to take a risk, runouts. Even in this situation, I would say they could have tried to take a run off the keeper. Take that risk. What's going to lose? You're going to lose a wicket, but you still have 5 wickets in hand. But just get that one run to get the tie. But nothing taking away, nothing from the if you look at the scorecard, I think there were some really great performances. GLCC, they on the backs of Brahma and Hitesh scored those 113 runs, and they were pretty much out of this game. I mean, their bowling, I think I've talked about it. It looks very one-dimensional. The GLCC bowling, I think they definitely need to find ways to get some variety in their attack. Otherwise, it's going to. I don't see them going into the playoffs, and some of the stronger teams are going to take it to their liking, because when we played them, I felt like there wasn't much threat. There was pretty much everybody I could basically know what he's going to bowl, how he's going to bowl, and they all have the same kind of pace, same kind of action, and not a lot of variation. So I feel like that's their weak link in GLCC. Yes, they have a very strong batting unit, but their bowling, I would consider, is pretty ordinary. I mean, apart from Akash, who has some variations, he does cut the ball. He has a good slower one. Everyone else is very, very pedestrian and very, very straight. To I mean, unless you make a mistake or you are in a hurry, you would find runs against them. Detroit Bulls, on the other hand, I think they James, sorry. He's been a star performer throughout the Bulls history, and before that, before what the team was called, he's been with them. He's been a great performer and very consistent performer, and the inclusion of Tanmay and Swapnil, I think the batting is really strong. I mean, yes, we talked about Bulls. I remember last year or the year before, we always talked about Bulls and we always talked about their bowling. But this year, with Tanmay and even Gino and Swapnil, I think their batting is definitely one that is standing out. I think they're still missing. I think I still haven't seen Watsal in the mix. I don't know if he's still around, but I thought he was their leader last year and he led them really well. So he's a miss, and I feel like if he's out for a whatever the reason, and if he's coming back, I think that will definitely add to the Detroit Bulls mix. But uh, again, very, very unfortunate for Bulls to lose this game. But GLCC, I don't know what's going on with them. Some voodoo, but they've been winning these close games and we have always been on the winning side. So some luck is going their way this season.
Yeah, Parthav, you know, you said Bulls before they were called Bulls. You don't remember what they were called?
Cougar, no, what was they called? I forget. Sorry, my memory is very bad.
Cruisers.
What was it?
Cruisers.
Cruisers, yes,
I used to say that
yes.
they were cruising to loss after loss, and after changing the name, they have changed
Mhm.
their entire outlook. They've got some good players, and now they are cruising to victory. Though this game, I will tell you, uh, just like Hawks had no business losing, I think Bulls had no business losing this game. All right. So let's call it for what it is. Bulls absolutely snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. That's what happened in this game. Bulls gave only four extras. Parthav, I think Brahma and Hitesh absolutely put on a batting masterclass. All right. They really batted very well. 113, if you ask me, is a very good score. But if you ask me, 113 is a very good score for Bulls too, because
Mhm.
GLCC batting is loaded batting. So you would expect that 113 they would have scored before the game. Yeah, I would say that they'll score 113. They have so many good batsmen that Maulik didn't even get to bat in this particular game. Remember I asked this question to KK, how come Maulik did not bat, you see? But
Mhm.
nevertheless, Gino James was the pick of the bowlers for the Bulls, 5 overs, one maiden, 16 runs, 2 wickets. Now, I do not know which scorecard you're looking at because, as far as I know, Vatsal played this game, and I
Oh
thought
yes.
he did a
Oh,
masterful job in restricting GLCC to 113. So that is my analysis that he did play the game. Now, I felt Bulls controlled this game for the most part and chasing 114. When you are 100 for 4, Parthiv, in 23.1, and you just need 14 more runs or 15 more runs, and you have 5 wickets in hand or 6 wickets in hand at that point of time, because it's 100 for 4 and you have 2.5 overs and you need only what, 12, 13 runs. I mean, that's
Yep.
not that this thing. If you ask me, did you see that Reggie Miller when he played in Madison Square Garden and he was scoring that? He did this, saying that the Knicks choked, right? That's exactly
Right.
what the Bulls did. They did a choke job on this one.
Yep.
I'm not going to spare the Bulls, but the Bulls really choked on this one. Uh,
Mm.
how in the world you are 112 for 6, Parthiv, at 24.2? All right.
Right.
And, Reggie Miller once said that when he was playing against Michael Jordan, he never used to do any trash talking to Michael
Mhm.
Jordan, because you do
Yep.
trash talking to Michael Jordan and he'll just
Right.
take it to another level. So he said, Michael Jordan is Black Jesus, and you don't talk trash to Black Jesus. All right. That's exactly what Reggie Miller said. All right.
Mhm.
Now, you know what, Parthiv, for GLCC, Akash Patel has become not the Black Jesus. I would call him the Guju Jesus. All right. Let me be honest with you, Parthiv. This is what it is. Because if you really look at it, both GLCC and Glads had to lose this game. All right. And in two
Right.
weeks, there are a lot of similarities. The
Mhm.
previous week, it was Akash Patel with the bat
Yep.
who did a masterful job and got GLCC the win. All right.
Mhm.
2 weeks ago, it was Jeet with the ball who did a masterful job in demolishing dynamites.
Mhm.
1 week later, it is Akash Patel, the bowler, who got the job done against Bulls.
Bulls.
For Glads, it was Jeet, the batsman, who got the job done. It was just a role reversal, but
Yeah.
exactly the same this thing which has happened. Both the teams won the games, but again, they had no business winning the game. But our friend
Yep.
Guju Jesus was on class. All right, this is a master class. I mean,
I know.
you have to watch the Glad's I don't know, WhatsApp group, and you'll see that there were a lot of
Yep.
texts going back and forth, kind of a thing. I think we have our own private groups also. I think Arjun Ajbani was texting me. There were a few other people. There are a lot of people watching this game and looking at the scorecard and things like that, and things like that. And then when Akash Patel got the job done, a lot of Glad's guys have a lot of respect for Akash Patel. So, and I told you in the past also, if I could recruit one fellow, I would recruit Akash Patel eyes closed, because I think
Absolutely.
he's a class act off the field and a class act on the field too. So you're getting a class
Absolutely. I
player
think
kind of a thing. But
I'm pretty sure he would go like if he ever had an auction, IPL auction, I think he would probably fetch a very big, hefty price tag for him because I think he does everything. He was a good leader. I think because of personal commitments, he stepped down from GLCC. As I said, he's a great person off the field, so he gets along with a lot of people, gets a lot of people to play with him or play for him, and batting and bowling obviously skills are just unbelievable. But
well,
I wish.
he's got a new nickname, Parthiv, Guju Jesus.
Okay, next time.
Simple as that. Simple as that. And Guju Jesus is a miser. All right, Parthiv? Let's call him Miser Guju Jesus. All right? Because this Guju Jesus did not allow any runs to go in the last 4 balls,
Oh,
Parthiv. And he took a wicket, and he just doesn't give runs when the game is on the line. And that's what got GLCC the victory. But fabulous effort there. I mean, of course, Hitesh had to play his game and Brahma had to play his game. But in the end, the heroics all belonged to Akash Patel. And
yep,
you couldn't have it happen to a better guy than him. So congrats, Akash. Congrats, GLCC. Uh, to the victors goes the spoils. So hard luck for the Bulls. And I'm sure the Bulls probably, I do not know if they spend a lot of time in the ground. They probably might have hit a lot of bars after the game trying to figure out how to wash down this loss, you see, because
yep.
this was a loss which they should not have had under any circumstances, especially
Yeah.
with the kind of domination they did with the bat and the ball. They should
Right.
have won this game. But
Yeah, I would have loved to have KK walk us through that last over because I would love to know what was going on in the Bulls, the two batters who were there. Like, what were they doing? Because I'm assuming that I'm assuming certain things, but maybe it was a different scenario that played out, and just that they weren't able to get the ball on the bat or whatever the reason might be. And I blame Maulik too. Like, he shut off the broadcast. I don't know for whatever reason, and I couldn't. Like, I was texting him,
it's
like,
not
where
that
is
he
the
shut off the broadcast. I think the broadcast went live, but he did not make it public. And of course,
oh, is that the case?
that's the case. He
Okay.
did not make it public. Now, only
Hmm.
Maulik can answer why he did not make it public. Of course, there were
Yeah.
a few people who questioned me as to why is the video private. Now, the only person who can answer that is Maulik Patel. Now,
Right.
it is Maulik Patel's video, so Maulik Patel has the right to do whatever he pleases. All right.
Right.
Now, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the reason was, but a number of people did ask, hey, how come another game, when the game is on the line, the game is not being broadcast or made public? It was broadcast, but it was not. Remember, the link was sent. So publicly it was available. I was watching that game for a little bit, but then I got caught in the Glads game, because that was
Hmm.
also going tooth and nail kind of a thing. So I wanted to go and watch it later if that video was public, but like others, I too did not get the opportunity to watch it.
Yeah, I would have loved to see, or maybe even clip that last over and run it on the show so that we could all see it. Yeah, maybe I'll text Malik, see if he still has that video. Maybe next time around, or maybe we can post it in the community. But it was, it would be great to see how Akash did it, because that's something which I haven't seen in a very long time. Somebody defend 4 runs in the last
Yeah, I would
over.
like to see that last over, Partha, for
Yeah,
sure. I would like
yeah,
to see, what really happened there,
right,
because it boggles my mind as to how in the world did this outcome happen, kind of a thing.
right. All right, let's go on to the next game. The next game was also something that went against the tide or against the predictions. I think MCC Miles haven't been at their best. They have lost a few players, and we've talked about it at length. They haven't had the best start to the season. They have lost quite a few games, but they are slowly kind of building. With this win, and I see them. They're playing today, and I see them, the Miles Stingers. They're beating Stingers, hands down, pants down. So it's definitely rubbing that confidence from this win against Dynamites onto their season. They
Wow.
have had some. Yep, they've
38
had
for
some.
10 Stingers, Partha. 38 for
uh,
10. They
38 for 10.
absolutely
Wow,
demolished the Stingers.
wow. All right,
MCC
so the
Miles absolutely demolished Stingers. Yep.
yeah, so the last two scorecards, if you look at this scorecard against Dynamites and the one that the game that just finished against Stingers, it does show the MCC Miles of the past. They used to score quite a bit, post a decent target like the 130s and 140s and 150s, and then they used to be able to defend. But that didn't happen at the start of the season. I think their batting wasn't there. They lost the first 4 games, first 3 games, lost to Thunderbolts also, which was also uh, quite a surprise or a unpredicted result. But then slowly, I think they're getting their season back on track. I think that win against Titans helped, now against Dynamites. And against Dynamites, I think there was a lot of chatter going on in the captain's group. And I think KK had sent some of the chatter to us as well. There were some umpiring decisions which are being going back and forth, some blame game being played on the umpires, which changed the outcome of the result. Well, some of these things are always, especially the ones that are close. The LBWs are always going to be tough on the team. And I agree on one point, which I think was part of the chatter, is a lot of umpires probably don't take the time to actually read some of these rules. Because I agree, I mean, yes, you might be aware of a lot of cricketing rules, ICC rules, you watch a lot of games, so you are aware of the rules. But DCL has a few flavors. in their format. So I think that checklist that was sent out by DCL, I think at least their minimum, if the umpires can actually read through it, at least because in the checklist, I remember when I was part of the committee, we've tried to include all those points which are different from ICC, like the measurements and the rules around the twos and the ones and the even the LBWs. We mentioned that take your time to give LBWs, because once you raise the finger, it's done. We've kind of created those pointers or memory joggers, but I don't think the empires you know do even a 5-minute read over that as well. So I think that point I agree. But in terms of decision making, it's really like you can be sore about it, but can't really blame it. In this game, I think what where Dynamites lost the game was the opener, the opening, and the towards the end, like Hemant, Prithvi. I think those two with decent contribution from Chenna and Jaswant. I think they got that score, that 140. And Dynamites have always been, relying on these newcomers, the young guys from Pakistan, Mohammed Ganzafar, Aftab, Mohammad Hassan Khan. All those guys have been bowling really well, but this bowling effort, this match wasn't on par. Yeah, they leaked quite a few extras. They were taken to runs. They leaked runs as well. Even the trusted Arun Selvaraj, he's pretty miserly usually. He leaked runs as well. The 5 overs, 40 runs that he gave isn't the usual Arun that we are accustomed to. And then once they were chasing that 140, I felt Dynamites had a pretty decent middle, top to middle order. Yes, they lost a couple of wickets at the start, but I think they were in the game. And then there was a big collapse towards the end. I think Sunil Soma, I can't see a name properly,
Somavarapu.
but Somavarapu. Thank you. His spell, that over where he took like 3 or 4 wickets, I think just broke the bones, broke the back of Dynamites, and then after that there was no coming back. So Vijay would have felt towards the middle of the game that he had a grip on it, but towards the end, I think Sunil had different plans, and a great win for MCC Miles. Dynamites, I think, would be now thinking about how to get into or break into that top five, because they want to make sure they're sixth, so they still qualify in a good position for playoffs. But they would want to get a game or two under their belt, a win or two under their belt, to secure and feel a lot more comfortable, because Hawks are chasing behind them. And we talked about that. That win against Gladiators would have changed that equation completely. Yeah, Hawks could have gone even ahead of Legends for that matter. But this game again, refreshing to see MCC Miles back, and a couple of wins here now makes Group A really interesting.
Yeah, Partha, my point was Miles Hemant Pingali put on a show. He was the man of the match, rightly decided the man of the match. But it's the way he treated Arun Selvaraj, which was eye-opening. I mean, Arun Selvaraj is supposed to be one of the better bowlers for Dynamites. But Hemant Pingali absolutely loved Arun Selvaraj's bowling, because in about 2 overs, he scored 21 runs. It was just about 2.1 or 2.2 overs. He scored that 21 runs. Now, the Dynamite's claim to flame is their bowlers. That's what, if you ask Vijay Shanmugam or many of the people in the league, they'll say that the Dynamite's bowling is supposed to be top notch. Well, if this game was a sample, then that leaves a lot to be desired. All right, because they gave 19 extras, that did not help. It was an off day for the Dynamite bowlers. 140, if you ask me, is way too much. Now, you can't blame that on LBW decisions, right? The opposition scored 140. So that certainly can't be chalked to LBW. I mean, probably when you batted, and I do not know which decisions went against you. So
Yep.
I was not privy to that conversation. But the good thing for Vijay is Dynamite's batting has come alive. All right. The last couple of games, I mean, take the Glads game out of the equation, but in the remaining
Yep.
games, they are seem to coming alive. Sachin, 16 of 26, Arun, 27 of 31. Anil 17 of 11 balls, and Mohammad Ghazanfar 30 of 39. They kept Dynamites in the game, Parthiv. But here is the biggest problem: Dynamites missed the bonus by 1 run. They
Yep.
just needed one more run and they would have got the bonus. And so, but again, credit Miles Praneeth, 5 overs, 24 runs, 3 wickets, and Sunil Somavarapu, the man of the hour, 5 overs, 12 runs, 4 wickets. I think they got the job done. If you ask me, Captain Chenna did a masterful job rotating his bowlers and using what he had at his at his disposal. It's a bad loss for Dynamites. But
Yep.
if I am in Vijay Shanmugam's shoes, I wouldn't get too disheartened. And there's a reason
Yep.
for that, because there is a positive point for Dynamites in that Hawks did not get a single point
Yep.
against Glads. And that only helps Dynamites because
Right.
now all the marbles are going to ride on the July 16th game between Hawks and Dynamites. Whoever wins
That's
that game is going to have a slightly upper hand. So if you're Hawks, you better get your best team for the Dynamites game. If you're Dynamites, you better bring your best team against Hawks, because you can afford to lose to some of these other teams, but you
Mhm.
certainly do not want to lose to Hawks. Or if you're Dynamites, and if you're Hawks, you don't want to lose to Dynamites. So if you're Dynamites, you don't want to lose to Hawks. But that's absolutely key for both teams. Another thing going for Dynamites, if you ask me, why I wouldn't get too much this thing is all their tough games. Most of their tough games are out of the equation. All right.
Yep.
Their schedule is working in their favor. They have a much easier schedule because they have Hawks, local boys. Well, GLCC is a tough game. Titans, Bulls, and then Stingers. It's certainly not Murderers Row. So if you are
Mhm.
Vijay Shanmugam, I think I would keep the Dynamites motivated. And I would
Yep.
say that, down the stretch, we do not have Murderers Row. Murderers Row is already over. And
Yep.
so, we are not in such a bad shape. All we have to do is take care of business and we'll be in the playoffs. So
Yep.
that's how I would approach it.
This week is
Uh,
a diversity cup. We don't know how many people they get. So
that's going to be a problem because I think Diversity Cup is going to have a huge impact on teams like KRCC, Gladiators. I do not know Vijay Shanmugam's those 4 players whether they are playing in Diversity Cup, but there are a few teams which are going to be impacted by Diversity Cup. They are going to
Mhm.
have Stars will be another team which will be affected, which is why we'll have to see what kind of team Stars will put this week out. Because with Diversity Cup happening, I have no idea how many of these players are going to be available. I know Glads is impacted, so for
might be
for sure.
legends, but might not be stars.
So Diversity Cup is the corporate cup, right? Used to be
No, no,
corporate cup.
no, 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 no. This is, I don't know, India Blues versus, I don't know,
Oh.
Pakistan Greens and World 11 and all that
Oh.
stuff.
Okay. Got it.
I
Got it.
don't think
Got
it's corporate cup.
it. Okay. Okay. Well, it will be interesting because you mentioned KRCC is impacted. We play KRCC next weekend, so
Okay. Well, so now you have something to look forward to.
well, we can take all the luck and the help that is available. So I would gladly take that. We need this whatever we get for this season to keep us moving ahead. I think going to the next game, I think that's one thing that didn't help us is
get
FCC
get
winnings are
Kapil
even.
and Vinayak 10 overs. It will be done.
Oh, I wish that would happen because Kapil is still nursing a back injury. I don't know if he's going to make it.
Uh,
He's not playing tomorrow. We'll see how he gets on Saturday. But yeah, we've been having a lot of these issues this year. But at least it gives me a little hope.
Couple needs to sacrifice his body for the next 1 or 2 years and then say,
Well,
okay,
he
I'm
needs to
going to
just
call
stop
it.
playing. He needs to stop playing golf every now and then. He because he injures every time. I don't know how people get injured in playing golf, but he gets his he. The funny thing is he didn't get that much injured while playing cricket. but he gets more injured by playing golf. I don't know how that happens,
I
but
think he's walking too
but
much and trying to hit in one par.
I don't know. Maybe swing
You
is
you don't
something.
you don't you don't have a hotline to his wife to tell his wife that prevent him from going for golf. I mean,
Well, yeah,
if I were in your shoes, by now my mobile phone would have been working overtime.
there is a lot of settlement between us, so I can't go that way because he has
You
more
don't
on me
call
than
him,
I
he
have on
don't call you.
he has more on me than I have on him. So
Okay.
Uh, well, I was talking about the game FCC Thunders. I think that was a game. FCC Thunders was ranked bottom with us. I think we were last and second last, and we were hoping before we went into the Thunders game, we were hoping that Thunders will get the better of FCC. So that will and obviously we needed to win against Bolts to get us in a better position. But now that FCC has won and won that comprehensively against Thunders, that definitely now we have to win our
I
games.
think
I mean, there is no
Group
help.
B is like in fire. Anybody can jump up and down.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's true. If you look at the points table, yes, I think between fourth and 10th, it's hardly like 5 points. So it's a matter of one game. If we can beat, or if somebody else loses, yeah, it does shake up a lot in Group B. But this was a game again going to FCC Indus Thunders. I don't think anybody expected Thunders to lose and then lose so badly. 54 all out. First of all, FCC scoring those 116 runs is a surprise against Thunders, which generally Thunders is very miserly. They have really good bowlers, but from what I know, this was not the Thunders unit that we are used to. Apart from maybe a couple of players who played who are the regulars, I didn't see a lot of those guys show up. Chetan and Dinesh and Rahul. Shiv Pujay are probably.
Partha, only four people played. I mean, Glatz played Indus
Oh,
Thunders in the playoffs in the quarterfinal last year, and
yep.
only four of those guys were playing this game. Now, you
Wow.
tell me, how in the world are you going to win a Division One game if
Yep.
out of your best 12, only four are playing, and then they have
Yep.
a guy named Srikanth Yerua who was their ex skipper, who is there on the scorecard here, but he has neither batted nor bowled. Now,
Wow.
explain that to me. Okay, either he was not there at the game, or I'm not sure what he was doing or what the logic was that you don't give him batting. He's a decent batsman and he's a decent bowler too. So I'm not sure what really was going on, but I see him on the scorecard, but he has neither batted nor bowled. So I have no idea what he was doing there. But only four players played Parthiv, and in Division One, I think you need to have at least 7 or 8 players. Out of your
Yeah.
best playing 12,
Yeah.
at least 7 or 8 players should be there. You can probably get away with 3 or 4 people not being there. But
Yep.
against quite a few teams, not against the top teams, but against
Yep.
quite a few teams, you might be able to do that. I mean, Glad's had only 6 out of 12, but 6 is better than 4. These guys had only
Correct.
4. Chetan, Dinesh, Rahul Shivpuje, and who was the other guy? I mean, I forgot his name. Rohit Pawar. All
Rohit
right,
Pawar.
those were the only 4 guys who were there from the playoff unit. There
Yep.
is no way you're going to give. Where is Madhusudan Haveri? Where is all these other guys? Manoj Singh.
Yeah.
Where is all
No.
these? All these star players were all missing. You see.
Yeah, and then that is definitely a curious case as to why so many players were missing. I don't know if they all play in the same team for F40 or there was something that afternoon. I know this was an afternoon game. There was a like a 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock start. So definitely, I think it impacted the F40 people who were in the F40 tournament. But very surprising to see so many missing in one game, and FCC took full advantage of that. I mean, first of all, scoring those 117 runs. I mean, against apart from Dinesh, I don't think there was any threat. I mean, yes, Rohit Pawar is a good bowler, but I think the uh, absence of some of the other support bowlers made them less effective. Even Chetan, for that matter, he was also not very effective with the ball as well. And then with the batting, I think Indus Thunders just I don't know what happened. I mean, no offense to FCC, but they have pretty decent attack. I don't think they had a 54 all out kind of a bowling attack team. Sujan is pretty awesome. I think he's the guy most teams would know that you probably don't want to give wickets to him. And Indus did the exact opposite. They gave so many wickets to him. I mean, Sujan was outstanding with the ball. He just basically he came pretty late, but once he was introduced, he just lined up the Indus Thunders, 5 wickets to him with an extraordinary figures, 2.4 overs, 3 runs, and 5 wickets. He just did a cleanup job. Once Teju had taken those wickets at the top, and no one apart from Chetan really stood up. I mean, the batting was dismissal, and just nothing to call out for Thunder. So very extraordinary game. FCC, yes, credit to them, but again, Thunders were not the Thunders that we know of, and I think this win definitely has impacted the table a lot because, as I said, it makes the Group B even more complicated toward as we approach the mid-season. Pretty much every team from 4 to 10 is locked with one game between them. Yes, Viju.
Yeah, Partha, if you take the 20 runs which Chetan scored and the 12 extras, the remaining 10 batsmen scored 22 runs, Partha. How in the world can you win a game? No skipper
Yep.
can win with that kind of production. You can't blame Pandeti for that. I mean, what are the
Yep.
remaining 10 people doing, you see? And of course, as you said, Superman Sujan was absolutely fabulous. That's why he's the game changer of the week. I think we gave him the game changer of the week. 5 wickets in the 2.4 overs. And he was also the top scorer for FCC with scoring 28 out of 42 balls, you see. Nishant, if you ask me, if one man was Superman, then Nishant was Robin because he had a blast. And, Batman and Robin, and Nishant was Robin because Teju was Batman because he had 23 out of 46. So you have Superman, you have Batman, and you have Robin. And then how in the world is that team going to lose? You have all the super characters there. Let me ask you this question, Parthiv. Are Thunders in trouble? All right. I mean, already Gaba mentioned that in our group that he thinks Thunders are in trouble and that Thunders might miss the playoffs. Now, I'm going to ask you this question because, in light of the fact that, there is some discussion going about, I don't know, Stingers played Thunders and Thunders beat Stingers. And there is a question about whether that game points are going to be awarded to Stingers. I'll give you my honest opinion. If you played the game and you lost the game and you had no protest before the game and the umpires allowed the game to continue, then filing an official complaint after that is bogus. All right. Because that's called trying to win the backdoor method. I really hope that the points for Thunders are not taken away from them, because if you take that, now you have created an absolute mess in that points division, because you played fair and square and you lost on the field. And the way to make it into the playoffs is not by filing some official complaint over some frivolous thing. Oh, that player was not there. As far as I'm concerned, only thing which needs to go is the waiver. If the waiver went through, we have always allowed players to be added at the last minute, because the waiver is the one which needs to, the committee is only interested in the waiver. As long as the waiver has gone through, there is no legal liability to the league. All these years, Parthiv, how many games you and I have played? We used to sign the waiver in front of the umpire, all right, before all this electronic scorecard and all these things came into effect. We used to find it on this thing, and that's it. That you bring 11 players, I bring in 11 players, we play the game fair and square. Whoever wins the game wins the game. Now, if the committee overreaches and gives these 5 pointers to Stingers, I honestly feel that they would have turned entire division, what is that, pool B, upside down. I'm with Pandeti, I'm with Chetan Dushyant, with Manoj Singh on this. They won that game fair and square. And I honestly feel that win should remain with Indus Thunders. No two things about it as far as I am concerned. but that's
Mm.
just my personal opinion. But I again, some people are saying that this is a double standard wherein you play the game and then lose the game and then you try to file an official complaint and try to get a point. I honestly feel that the Stingers will not get any respect from anybody in the league if that gets implemented. I honestly think that that's not the way to do it. Did you lose the game? You lost the game. That's the end of the discussion. I mean, I hope better sense will prevail. I hope the committee doesn't make that kind of a stupid decision, if you ask me, because really speaking, if the game was played, it was played. Your thoughts, Parthiv? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, again, without knowing a lot of it, I think I've just heard from the grapevine as to what is going on. So I don't have a lot of details as to what exactly happened. Yes, I think I agree with you that dropping points from a team after the game is being played is too harsh. I think the outcome of unless the outcome of the game was impacted by whatever happened. I mean, there was some unfair means or whatever the reasons impacted the game in that manner. Then there's cause of deliberation. But just because a player was not added to a roster, or because of some mechanics or the way the way we have those waivers, or the captain's responsibility to upload a player, whatever the case may be. uh, I don't think that should result in that severe an outcome for somebody taken like somebody taking away a victory from a team. That's pretty severe. But again, we should probably know a lot more specifics as to what exactly happened, because yes, I think we want to curb. I mean, if there is a blatant use or misuse of a rule, I think the committee has every right to act upon it. But if it's something as trivial as adding a
Yeah, yeah,
player.
here's the question, Partha. The rule book clearly says that the umpires are the
Yep,
committee's representative on the field. And if the
that's right.
committee's representative on the field allowed the game to take place, then whatever the umpires decided is the committee's decision too. That's what the
Mhm.
rule book says, all right? Unless they change that rule. I don't think they changed that rule because that rule has been there for ages together, that, the
Right,
committee cannot be there at every game. So they say that the umpires are your automatic extension of the
right,
committee on that particular day. Of course, if you have
right,
some doubts, you can always call this thing. Again, all these things are hearsay. We have heard a lot of things going on in the chatter boxes and things like that. But anyway, since we were discussing this game and knowing the implications which it has for many teams in
right.
Pool B and also in Pool A eventually, because the matchups in the playoffs is going to be decided on all this point system. I think I hope that the right thing will be done.
Yep. Yep, I'm hoping that we get a little more details as to I mean, what happened, and how it's impacted the team if they decide to do that. But yes, I honestly feel it's probably will be a too harsh fault for the committee to make, and will set the wrong precedence of people complaining after the game in the hope of overturning results, which I don't think is a good precedence to set
Yeah, and
for
then
the.
what happens is you're going down a slippery slope because every time a team loses, all right, let's file
Yep,
an official complaint. That's setting the wrong precedent all across the board, you see.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely agree. All right, let's go on to the next game. I think we talked about or touched upon it a little bit. The Stars versus Knockers game. I mean, Stars, like we said the previous week, fresh off beating Fighters and getting their season back on track. Some of the players are starting to show up. Ravi Teja starting to kind of get in his groove. They just basically dismantled Fighters in no time. In 6 overs, they chased 65, 64 runs. But this was a different unit, different day, and different uh, outcome. Stars batting first, I think. Didn't get enough runs on the board. 77 is not going to be enough against a Knockers unit. Yes, Knockers are just feeling into it. They have got a mix of their players back in the equation. They're still not the Knockers of the past, but still, I think they have got enough weapons with them. Enough experience, like the likes of Giriappa and Ajit and Shashank, and quite a few of the Arun, for that matter, quite a few guys who have been in DCL, so they can chase. And this target of 78, all you need to make sure is you have a couple of decent partnerships, and if you can have and stitch those partnerships, and if the team like Stars gave in this game 17 extras, helped by 17 extras, when you have a low total of 78, giving up 17 extras is quite a bit. So Stars kind of helped Knockers push through in a tight game by bowling those 17 extras. But I think what would be really concerning to Hari would be the batting. I think they didn't get enough runs. And I think Sainath and Ravi Teja, I think those two are the key to make sure that Stars batting puts up a decent total. Without them contributing, I think it's very difficult for Stars to, get through or even think about playoffs. A great win for Knockers. As I said, they are still getting up to speed with this team, which has brought in a lot of the old veterans together. Some of the players have kind of migrated from other teams as well. So pretty decent team, but I think they're still kind of working their way through. Yes, they have a few wins now under their belt from where they had started, but I still feel they're not the old Knockers. They still need a lot more to get to the feared Knockers of the past. So good win here, but I'm more surprised at Stars than Knockers in this game, really.
Yeah, Parthiv, this was a low-scoring affair. But you know what? Knockers had Lord Giriyappa, Shashank, Arun all moved from Stars into Knockers. Prabhu
Yep.
moved from GLCC to Knockers. Ajit moved from GLCC to Knockers. Now, there was a game within a game, Parthiv. And there is that familiar or the well-known English saying, familiarity breeds contempt. All right.
Yep.
Now, let me see. Do you remember this dialogue? It's a very famous dialogue. It's from a Hindi movie, and you're a Hindi movie buff. I'm pretty sure you'll get it. This is
Mm-hmm.
some guys go in search of the hero, and they can't find the hero anywhere. They come back to their den, and the hero is there in the den, and he closes the door and closes the locks it up, and throws the key, to the thugs, and then he says, "इसे अपने जेब में रख ले पीटर, अब ये ताला मैं तेरे जेब से चाबी निकाल के ही खोलूंगा." Which movie, Parthiv?
Divar, Divar,
Divar.
Divar.
My goodness, you are such a movie buff. Yes, that is. I should never quiz you because that is right. It is Divar, but it's such an old movie. I didn't think.
Yep.
I was not
Classic.
sure if you'll get it. You see. All right, Parthiv, why did I bring it up? The $1 million question was, who was going to utter this dialogue in this game? All right. Was it going to be Hari Parankusam, or is it going
Yep.
to be Arun Lavakumar? Was it
Yep.
going to be Lord Giriyappa, or is it going to be Ravi Teja? Both bona fide superstars. Only one of them is going to be able to utter this dialogue.
Yep.
Now, if you ask me, Knockers had a clear game plan, Parthiv. You'll have to look at the scorecard, and you'll actually, I was refreshing that scorecard while this game was going on, and there was something interesting which I noticed. Deepak always opens the bowling. Guess what? Against Stars, Deepak did not open the bowling. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else and Arun opened the bowling. After 4 overs were done, that's when Deepak comes into the attack. They waited for one wicket to fall, and they waited for Ravi Teja to come in. The moment
Right.
Teja came in, as soon as the fourth over is done, the fourth over was a maiden. I think Arun bowled the fourth over, and the fourth over was a maiden. Deepak comes into the attack. And the next thing you know, dot, 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 4 dot balls. And the very fifth ball, the key to the Stars' fortune, Parthiv, was
Yep.
taken out of Ravi Teja's pocket. And the entire Knocker team was singing a new song. Well, let me see if you get this song right now. You remember this? Hum tum ek kamare mein band hai aur chavi ko
Yes.
jaye. Because we have been talking about chavi, Parthiv. So I had to rhyme up Diwar with this movie. This movie was
Yep.
what? Bobby, I believe,
Bobby.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Bobby, all right. Well, and Dimple Kapadia was, I think, introduced in that movie, and I
Yeah.
think that was Rishi Kapoor's first movie too.
Correct.
Well, Parthiv, the Chavi was not lost, Parthiv, because Lord Giriyappa had the key to the star's fortune in his
Yeah.
pocket the moment the Empire raised his dreaded figure for the LBW decision. The problem with the loss, Parthiv, is also can be found in that same music and in that same song. Because let me put it this way, DCL के पॉइंट बोर्ड पे ऊपर भी जाना है मुश्किल और नीचे भी जाना है मुश्किल, Parthiv. That's the
Nice. Nice.
problem here, Parthiv. That's what has
Yeah.
happened because now Stars are stuck right at there. This was a win which Stars probably needed this, especially considering that they had such a fantastic win the previous week against an undefeated fighter team. They came into this game, and I personally had Stars winning this game. But nope, Knockers had a clear game plan. And in this game, if you ask me, Deepak Giriyappa was Lord Giriyappa. And I'm telling you, 5 overs, two maidens, 6 runs, 2 wickets. He was
Yep.
rightly judged the man of the match. I have to give credit to Arun for giving him the man of the match because you know what? The two most important wickets, Sainath and Ravi Teja, both cleaned out by Deepak Giriyappa. And that,
Yep.
Parthu, again, holding him back until Ravi Teja came and then unleashing him on Ravi Teja. I think that was a master stroke. Give Arun all the credit for that. I think we shouldn't forget about Shashank's innings. Without Shashank's innings, there is no
Yep.
way Knockers win this game. So it was a 1-2 punch. Deepak gave the first punch, and then you have Shashank putting in a masterclass with the batting. And again, another valuable product or a player who played in the DCL final, and he had a good DCL final too last year,
Yep.
is now gone to a different team. If without that innings, Knox would have been knocked out, Partner. That's exactly what was
Yep.
the case. But if you ask me, Stars are in a modicum of trouble. Why do I say they are in a modicum of trouble? Because they are at 2-4, Parthiv. And the next 6 games, unlike Dynamites, they have FCC. Well, so that becomes a key game now. Pokeries and FCC is running on a high. They have Pokeries, they have Indus, they have KRCC, Raptors, and Thunderbolts. Now, if you ask me, the key games for Stars is Pokeries and Indus because they're locked in a battle with those two. They can't go 3-3 in the remaining 6 games. They need to go to 4-2. Somehow they have
Yep.
to win 4 out of the 6 games. But here is the
Right.
problem. The FCC game is when Diversity Cup is happening. I have no idea how much compromised Stars will be. I mean, if I'm suspecting Diversity Cup pulls out a number of players from a number of star teams, then expect that probably Stars are also going to be impacted because many of their stars may not be able to play this game. And if the Stars can't convince the Stars to play their game, then look for FCC Superman to hammer the nail into the Stars' coffins. Now, I
Right.
honestly hope for Stars' sake that they can avoid that debacle, but I don't think the FCC game is a pushover game. No, by no means.
Right.
They will probably need a good unit out there. But how much are they going to be impacted? Who knows? We'll find out coming Saturday.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think the key to Stars this season is definitely, as always, has been Ravi Teja. But also, I think the availability of some of their players is going to be a key. If you look at their squad, they have a quite a diverse squad of players, old, old as in people who have been with Stars, not the age, but people who have been with Stars for a long time, like Mahesh and Imti, and you have Ravi Teja, obviously. But they are also looking for Sai Gautam, Sai Karodi, Sainath himself, and then also Shakir, who they have in their roster. So if all of these people start to show up, and towards the latter half of the season, I think it will be a different Stars unit that we'll see. So I think a lot of it is going to be on availability. But yes, their road to those playoffs is going to be a little with a lot of hurdles. So unless they start getting those players to play regularly, I think it's going to be a struggle. And come playoffs, if they happen to be, I'm pretty sure they'll be in the playoff, but where they will sit in the play or in the table and who they will face, I think that's going to be something that Hari needs to see, because if they are towards the bottom of the table, then they'll play the likes of Glads and GLCC and Titans, and you probably don't want to do that first up. So I think they need to start towards this second half of the season. These players better show up and start showing up regularly.
I too feel, Parthiv, if I was a betting man, I think Stars end up in the playoffs. But here is my point. I think between Stars, Indus, and Pokris, I think
Mhm.
one of them is going to get knocked out.
Stars, Indus, and Pokris. Wow. Okay,
Just
that's a
look at
tall
that.
bet.
Just look.
This
Yeah, yeah. Look at
this week there is
look.
Indus versus Pokris.
Yeah,
So
look. Can you show the standings, Satya?
yeah,
Take a look
sure.
at the standings, Parthiv. There's a reason why I said that, and it is based on the standings and looking at what you're seeing there. You look at that and you'll find that Stars, Pokris, and Indus, because Indus again there is this the sword
I
of Damocles hanging there. I do not know what's going to happen
I
with
don't
that
think so.
game.
My opinion is still like you're talking about out of playoffs, right?
Yeah, only 6 out of these
Top
10 teams make it.
right. I still feel it's going to be. Yeah, I think they are all going to be safe. I think the spot the last four teams is definitely going to be between Thunderbolts, FCC, Strikers, and probably I would say yeah.
Parthiv,
I
if
think
you
the
are
one
the
I'm
last four teams, you don't make the playoffs, Parthiv.
right, right. No, no.
Well,
I'm trying to see. I was still trying to figure out whether these teams are going to be in the bottom four. But yes, you
yeah,
are right. It looks
if
like
you are in the bottom four, you have missed the playoffs.
right.
You
So
need to
I
be
mean,
in the
again,
top six to you need to be in the top six to make the playoffs.
right. But just knowing their history, I think it defies a lot of the historical data and what we know about this. I mean, Stars, Pokris, Thunders, I've all they are all capable of stringing a series of wins towards the end of the season and getting through. I mean, they might be in the top three or four for that matter. At least two of them. On the
Yeah,
other
but
hand,
see the problem is Knockers is already at 5-1, and all they need is couple more wins and they are
right,
through, right? Right? I mean,
right.
Fighters is at 5-1, and KRCC, I don't see them losing, so they are going to be in. Now
If we are
you
seven
have only
wins, we
three.
are almost through. So
Yes. If you have
Yep.
7 wins, you're pretty much through, Parthiv. That's
Yep.
where the thing is. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but now you have given Raptors are played only 5 games and they are looking pretty good too. So
Yeah,
I do
I
not
mean
know.
Raptors. I think the next couple of games, Raptors. I think we'll. I mean, they have strikers, they have FCC and knockers. I mean, if they win two out of these three, I think they should be in a very good position to go into playoffs, or at least be in a very good position. Because after that, they have four games, which I think are going to be very tricky. They have Pokris, Thunders, Stars, Fighters. So I mean, I would put Raptors in that same category as well. I mean, between these four, I think one of them is probably going to miss out.
All right. Anyway,
All right,
it'll be
let's
interesting
go
few
on to
weeks.
the last game of that weekend. It's Strikers and Thunderbolts.
And I'm going
Yeah,
to
this
let
was
you cover this, Partha, because you saw this game firsthand. But I'll tell you
yep.
one thing. You changed the clock backwards. All right. I mean, it was a fabulous outing from Partha Mehta. I mean, I'm sure you can't talk up yourself, but I thought it was a fabulous opening partnership. And then with the ball getting 4 wickets, including our friend Avinash Raghu.
Well,
But
well,
nevertheless, the thing is, wicket is a wicket. But
yep.
the point is that, when you have four wickets only for 14 runs. And when you can beat what I thought was a very good Thunderbolts team that
Yep.
decisively, I mean, that was an eye opener. I expected Thunderbolts to win this game, but I was wrong.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you one thing: it started right at the top, and it was the opening partnership between you and Ishan which set the game, and then Vinayak, well, maybe he thought the Thunderbolts were glads because he scored very impressive 34 runs. And I don't like seeing him when we play against you guys. But that's only because he performs very well whenever he plays against glads. But in this game, he had a good outing, I think, with the bat and also with the ball. But I'll let you cover
Yep.
this game. But fantastic
Yeah.
outing. In fact, you were in the running for the game changer of the week. And I think if Sujan did not get a hat trick, my feeling is you would have at least got more than at least one vote. Unfortunately, I was the only guy who voted for you. And so,
Well,
I mean, anyway, I thought it was, I think what made this performance even more impressive is Partha, once
mhm.
you cross 45 and things like that, it's very,
Yep.
very difficult. People don't realize how difficult it is that
Yep.
a younger guy doing it
Very,
is not the
very, very
same time.
difficult to get opening itself. So,
So,
I know. I mean, I think that has been one great thing that has worked in our favor is I don't think at the start of the season I was very confident, but I think it was that GLCC game. I just felt that was a gut feeling. I just told Sujay, like, let me go. It wasn't a big total, so it actually played in my style of how we bat in DCL before. So that 70-80 runs is right in my zone. I can bat really, at that 60-70% strike rate. It's not a big total, and I think that got a lot of confidence in the team as well as getting good starts. Yes, this game I think we were desperate, to be honest. I think this was a game that we actually want. We went out and made sure, like I made phone calls, inquired about Raj. Raj is not available. Uh, got Shoaib, got a lot of the players to come and make sure. And what it helped was it was in the after like evening 5 o'clock. So I think there was a lot of people who became available, and that was great because I think this was a game that we had to win. Otherwise, I think the writing was on the wall. It was Division Two that we would be looking at if we had lost this game. Because to be honest, I think it would be a uphill. It is still a uphill battle. I don't think we are out of it, but at least it gives us a chance. I think we are within that distance where we can still make up. And if we have to play well, get some wins, and we can be in a good position. If not playoffs, but at least secure enough for Division One, which I think should be the goal for the rest of the season. Yes, playoff will be wonderful, but we need to kind of go one step at a time. In this game, I think the key was, yes, you mentioned the opening partnership. We played at a fairly good clip. We had like 10 overs, 40 for no loss, and things were looking relatively under control. I think once Ishan went out, I went out. I think there was somehow this has been a story of the season. We haven't been able to capitalize on the starts or capitalize on the good showing with the bat, and you lost wickets in a cluster. Sujay's batting is a mystery this season because he was a top scorer last year for us. He's been in great nick throughout last season, but this year it hasn't worked out well. Vinayak, long time overdue. This was a game. I mean, he's a good batter. I mean, he just needs to put his mind and put his head to it, and he can get the runs. And this game, I think he carried his bat almost throughout the game. He was probably the last or the second last uh, guy to get out, and he made sure that we crossed that 100 mark, because at one stage I think we were looking around 1995, but I think the last push between him, Vinay and Vinayak, I think got us through that 115, I think. And Thunderbolts were generous with the extras as well. 17 extras they gave us, which got to that score of 115. And once we got to that score, I think we were very confident that with the twilight and the lights taking into effect, I think we had got enough runs that we could defend. And I think, it was a good start again with the ball between me and Vinay. And then they just kept on losing wickets. Thunderbolts just kept on losing wickets. Yes, Avi got a rough call, as I've mentioned in our group. That wasn't something that I was very confident on. Yes, I did appeal, but then once the decision was made, I did feel like that wasn't quite in my own opinion, like something that I would be proud of. It I think it was probably too high, uh, going over the stumps or missing the stumps or somehow. So I know Avi was very mad and at the ground, and I wanted to make sure that I stick to the plan, stick to the game first, and then later on address that. But it was a game. I think Thunderbolts for some reason didn't put enough at the start in their batting. I think if they had stitched a partnership or two at the start, which they had towards the end of the game, Santosh and Avinash, the Reddy brothers, they gave us a little bit of a square. I won't say a scare, because I think we always had the game under control, but we were feeling a little anxious because we weren't able to finish the game when it was so close. But eventually, I think we got the wickets, and again, as I said, this win helps us to stay afloat and still dream about getting to that playoffs.
Well said, Father. All right, I think we can move on to.
Yep.
Yeah, is that with all the
Let's
games
move
done?
on to the predictions. So let's see this week's game. Are you sharing, Satya?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want the general prediction or ours first?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go with the general predictions first. Let's see what all the
Can can
trends
we
are.
can we see Sheikh Mohammed on the tail of Gaba?
He didn't even log, I think, still.
Who didn't log?
Sheikh. I think he has to predict still. So I did
Yeah,
not
but he
check.
has still time till Friday.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think Legends is Hawks. So it's fully on Legends. Currently we got only 13, but still. So
Titans and Bulls. Wow. Okay.
KRCC strikers. One notice, I know Parthiv, I don't know which one. Who
It's
is that
fine.
one?
What I think.
But one vote
Titan.
won't make 15%. There has to be more than one vote.
Two.
Maybe
There
there's
is total two.
Okay,
maybe
one
there's
of the two
another
votes is.
synthesizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Titans, Bulls, it's almost going equal. Bulls got 5 and Titans got 8. So yeah, Thunder Spoke Race. This is important game for both. So it's going
Yeah,
50-50 almost. So
we expect that. Yep.
Yeah, I think that'll be a cracker of a game.
yeah. And yeah, we are playing Miles. It goes 100, but Miles is a good team coming back.
Mm.
We have to see. And this is Fighters, Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts got only one. Fighters have the most. And,
Well, for
Stars.
whatever like our selfish reasons, we just need Thunderbolts losing. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult for us then.
We don't know. This week they have this Noai Cup too. I don't know
Oh,
like
Ooh, wow.
how it's going to happen.
there's
But
Okay.
a
but
lot
it
of
will be in the
cricket going
morning,
on.
so we are okay. But if it is an afternoon game, if this is afternoon, both the teams will not have players. So,
Hmm.
Hmm.
but if it is a morning game, both will have most probably. So, yeah.
Well, I thought
Hmm.
when Novi Cup is there, you only have morning games here, I thought. Unless the rules changed.
No. DCL doesn't care about any other tournament. So
Yeah.
Okay.
they want
No,
to conduct 7.
they had an understanding with Novi Cup, I thought.
No, Nawai
Novi, no,
grounds they don't get. That's it.
oh, now they don't get the Novi grounds, is it?
Yeah,
Now
only
I don't
mornings
think
we
anybody has
play.
any.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
mornings
don't
we
think.
play. Glads play in Novi, but afternoons there may not be games in Novi. So, but yeah.
Okay.
So Stars FCC, Stars have the most even after FCC is winning. So it could
So
be still anybody's game.
imagine the clout of the stars, Hariparankusam's magical effect.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be anybody's game because if like
Yeah, if
couple of
Sujin
guys
is going to
doesn't show
play like
up,
that, then
yeah,
and
Yeah.
if Diversity Cup and what is this, Novai Cup now? All these
yeah.
cups start
Novai Cup,
having.
I don't think will impact Stars. I think it's the Diversity Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And this is Bharat Cricket Club is Michigan Mavericks. It's like 12 to 1. And
That's a pretty impressive vote count for Bharat.
Yeah, I don't know how they got 12 because I think both teams are like not, I mean, they are at the same stage in the
Yeah,
points
I
table.
actually thought for some time
Yeah,
making that pick. I mean,
yeah.
I think I picked Bharat, but
Wait,
I
I
took
think
some
it's
so
time
both
trying to figure
both
out
in the
which one of
same
those two are
place,
going to. Yeah,
but
there
they
are,
played
yeah,
only
there are a
five,
lot
they
of
played
things.
seven.
Exactly. There are a few of these kind of things. I think I have picked, yeah, I picked Bharat as well.
yeah.
Group two, we all picked the same teams, so don't worry. So the other next one is Spartans is going overall. Spartans could be one of the teams to look out for playoffs. So
Another
Vikings
game.
playing I don't know who Vikings playing, but Viking got 100%. Dark Horses, Racha Riders. Racha Riders is got 3. Dark Horses got 10. Okay, we have to see that. Agni versus RCD, Royal Challengers Detroit. So that's 12 Agni.
What about this one? Where is it? I can't really see. I'm curious about Punjab Scorpions and Kadampas. That I felt was,
This one, it's 3
yeah.
to 10. 10 Punjab Scorpions. Kadambas got 3.
Oh, that is closer
Eagles
than I
playing.
think what it shows here.
Yeah, Blasters Canton Hurricane is on the wire. Who is going to win? So
Hmm.
Phantoms, I think they're playing Elite Leos. Got Phantom got
Yeah,
100%.
that should be easy.
Michigan Rangers and Gujarat Warriors is 9 to 4.
Wow, that is a
So
surprise as well. I think I had gone with Warriors,
hmm,
Rangers. Oh no, I've gone with Rangers. I'm sorry,
let
but I think
me.
that is going to be a
No,
close game.
Rangers have been playing good cricket of
Yeah,
late.
yeah, but Warriors are a good team as well, so it's
Oh
going to be
yeah,
close.
they are.
Yeah.
So this is
All right.
our prediction. So everybody is on Legends. It's only Parthiv is on Strikers.
Yes.
Gaba on Titans, and remaining 3 are on Bulls. So
Wow. Yeah, it's hard to kind of go against Bulls run this season.
yeah,
I mean,
but
apart from that GLCC they lost, but I think they are a very good team this season.
Yeah,
yeah.
even though they lost to GLCC, which I think is a Bulls mistake than anything else. So
Hmm.
that's why I was going with Bulls.
All
Both
right.
almost equal teams when you see the player wise. But if
Yeah.
Gaba and everybody can come in and to play, then it could be anybody's game.
Yeah, I mean,
With
I mean,
unavailability.
both have two superlative players, right? One is Tanmay
Yeah.
Zante for Bulls, and the others he evens out Praveen Dige. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then it comes
So
down to the remaining 10 players, right?
yeah. So that's where Gino comes, Gaba comes, like it's all equals out. So we don't know. So yeah. Thunder's poker is 2 to 3 again. So
Yep.
uh,
Expected. So who's on Thunders?
Who's on Thunders?
Me
it's
and Satya.
me
Okay.
and
Okay.
Parthiv.
Okay.
I'm surprised with this Satya guy. How come he's not picking his fellow brothers from Pokeries? Maybe I remember Parthiv, I told you familiarity breeds contempt. Write that down, Parthiv. Write that down.
Well,
I'm the only Pokeries friend.
well, but with this diversity cup, I think now, I mean, Indus Thunders might
No,
also be.
this may not affect, but still,
I'm not.
like,
I don't think Diversity Cup will affect either of those two teams.
Hmm,
yeah. But
okay.
poker is
I
they
think
have to
Thunder's problem
come
is
back
their
strong.
availability, general
Yeah,
availability.
yeah.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
know where the guys are going, but yes. So, but yeah, Glads Miles, it's all on Glads.
Five
We have to
zero.
see.
Okay.
Fighters, Thunderbolts are all in Fighters. Stars, FCC, all of us are in Stars. Michigan Mavericks, Bharat Cricket Club. We are all
Oh
in
my
Bharat.
God! Everybody is on Bharat. Wow. That is.
Mhm. Spartans, Motor City, all are in Spartans. Vikings, all are in Vikings against Rebels. Uh, Dark Horses, Racha Riders. Only me in Racha Riders.
Oh.
I didn't see Dark Horses because I was not there. I don't know what happened, but
I mean, both of them are pretty similar. I think it's, but I think,
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah. The same Dark Horses, you don't know who you will come on that day. So
Yeah, yeah. They always bring someone, and somebody turns
yeah,
out. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. They
Yeah.
have like a
Agni,
baseline
RCD. Now nobody want to go against Agni, I think. So
there. I know.
That's the warning from GABA.
Gaba, from the time you said that, everybody's picking ugly.
the I don't know.
Next
Marvel
next time
Eagles.
next time GABA will not give any more pointers.
Wow.
Scorpion, Kadambas, all around Scorpions. So, yeah,
I
Canton
think
Hurricanes must have brought that.
I think our friend Tejas Shantagowda will send a note to Satya that he's going to prove the whole world wrong.
I definitely
Well, it's
think
good.
this game is. I'm thinking this is going to be Kadambas. I mean, now that I've a little more thinking, but okay, that's fine. It's going to be
This is
close
not
game.
Punjab Mela, only Novi Cup, so don't worry. If it is
Ah,
Punjab Mela, I'll directly put opposite. So
Canton Hurricanes.
Who
Okay,
are the two
Hurricanes
people who
must have brought.
voted for Canton Hurricanes?
I
It's
think me and
Gaba and
Sabri,
me.
right? Oh, Gaba and you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a bold pick. Hmm.
Hurricanes doing good, getting better.
Both of them are. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the beauty
Blasters
of division.
also equally good, but with the experience, Hurricanes should able to beat. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Hurricanes is 10 and Blasters is 8, so not a lot of
Yeah.
difference.
So
What is
yeah,
the
Phantoms
Phantom?
Elite, Leos, Phantoms goes. Gujarat Warrior, my Rangers is two is in Gujarat. It's me and Chaitan.
Chetan, is it?
Okay.
Oh,
This time, if all my pick goes wrong, I'll be below party, I think.
well,
I think that's what's
all
going
right.
to happen. Let me share the other one. So yeah, share, go to results. I don't know. So it's Gaba 93, Muhammad 89. There are four votes still difference.
Ooh.
85 and 83. I have only three. So if I'm all wrong, I'll be equal to Parthiv then. So
Oh my God, Viju, we need to really pull up something. So, man, these guys are stretching 10 points between us and Gaba now.
oh
Yeah, I
Come
yeah,
know.
on.
too
Man.
much. He got the lead. He's just keeping it. So
Yeah,
Yeah, but 4 point lead. I think Sheikh Mohammed might be able to catch up.
yeah.
mm. But yeah,
Who
but
knows?
still 6 weeks and yeah, playoffs you
Playoffs.
can't do anything. But
Yeah, but
6 weeks,
playoffs again, you have doubled the points, right?
yeah. But how many picks might go wrong, right? Like everybody will be picking the same.
I mean,
Unless
playoff, I think the first round is a little more predictable. After that, it's
only
going to be,
yeah, only pre-quarters would be, but after
yeah,
that we get to know. So
right.
but might be group two. Like there could be like either yeah, either or.
Oh,
But
group two is so difficult. Very
division two
difficult.
we don't know still. Like
Right.
yeah,
All
but at
right.
least yeah, we have a couple of players playing. That's good. So
All
yeah.
right. And I think this week's games, the rained out rescheduled games, that those will add up, right? As well, right?
Yes, the weekend this week happening, the weekday games
Okay.
will add up to the
Those
scores.
are not added yet. Okay.
So those will also get added. So almost like what 17 plus 3, 20 points or 26
Yeah.
points we are looking this week.
Oh, wow.
So
Yep.
yeah, I
That
think there
probably.
is going 6 to 7 games going this week, and next week, weekday, 6, 7 games are going on, I think.
Yep.
So next 2 weeks will be like 20, 25 games, 50 games will be covered. So,
Yep. Cool. All right. I think we are at that time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Satya, for joining and giving us a little more. I think I was just talking to Viju. Probably want to start seeing if we can get some guest speakers as well. I think just mixing up things will help. So,
yeah.
but it was a good show. I think we are almost halfway in the season, so still halfway to go, and then obviously the playoffs come in. But it's starting to get very interesting, especially Group B, where one game separates 6 teams. So let's meet next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Until then, good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night.
See
Take
you
care.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.